What is going on? How we doing? How we doing? Don't mind my chopped ass haircut, yeah? The barber actually screwed me over this time around. Let me just yeah, honestly, I probably might have kept the face cam off if I knew it looked that bad. How we doing? What's good, TV Dan? What's good, PN? Tim Combridge, what's going on? Emmy, capturing the third. What's good? What's good? Haven't seen you guys in a minute. So, I just kind of want to address the elephant in the room. Today is May 4th, so may the 4th be with you. Is it National Star Wars Day? It is, right? It is. Officially, it's National Star Wars Day, so I don't know if you guys whipped your lightsabers out already or what's going on. But I kind of want to just start the stream off and kind of tell you guys what's been happening the last couple of weeks. It's been like, I think 2 weeks of me not live streaming. I think it's been about maybe 3 to 4 weeks of me doing it inconsistently. And so I kind of want to just give you guys a bit of a debrief on what the fuck is going on. Yes, may the 4th be with you, King. Hey, let's go, Tim. Let's go. You got your lightsaber out? You got your lightsaber out? Whoa, pause. I didn't mean it like that. But yeah, where the fuck have I been? Where have I been? So before I kind of tell you where I've been, I feel like I need to give you like a bit more context into how I like to get shit done. So I'm just going to coin this little section, Doobie's Guide to Getting Shit Done. And the way that I look at it is there's two focus modes, okay? Two focus modes. There is, the spread where you get to focus on a lot of different things. You can focus on, for my case, it was, focus on live streams, focus on short forms, focus on building an app, focus on, making long form videos, potentially getting sponsorship deals. That's basically spread, right? There's a lot of pros and cons to that. You get to experience a lot of different things at the same time. If something doesn't work, you can quickly pivot to the next thing and like put a bit more focus towards that. Now, the other mode of focus is pencil, right? Where you literally do not focus on anything else but one thing. And that one thing for me was long form videos. I was like, man, live streams and long forms are the two big things right now. And obviously live streams comes with making the product. Long forms comes with doing sponsorship deals. So it's like this balance, right? And so I'm jumping in and out of these two focus pools constantly. Like when I first started the YouTube channel, all I did was live streams, right? And I feel like that actually really pumped the live streams up. Because I remember when I first started this channel, all I did was live streams. You can see I was shirtless in the freaking thumbnail because I couldn't be asked to take a photo properly. And so I literally just reused like an old photo that I took from like mid last year. And like, it was just like, whatever, no one's going to see it. Now I've got 2,300 people watching my freaking thumbnail. I'm like, all right, shit. That's only the people that clicked it. That doesn't show everyone that got shown that thumbnail. So yeah, obviously I had to change it. I tried to AI generate a suit here, but anyway, the point is, when I first started live streaming, all I did was live streams, okay? And then somewhere along the line, I tried to fit in YouTube videos. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna fit in a YouTube video. You can see this is the first YouTube video I tried. These two videos I tried to fit in. And I was like, hang on a second, YouTube's actually getting a lot of engagement right now. So at one point I was like, okay, well, I've focused on the live streams. Why don't I try focus on the short forms? So that's exactly what I did. And so let me show you kind of what's happened. Since I've been gone, purely focusing pencil on long forms, we've done 12,000 new subscribers in the last month, which is just like what the actual fuck? Like Dude, when I first started this, to hit 10,000 subscribers was my goal. To hit 10,000 subscribers. Then we hit 10,000, like maybe it took us 4 months. And in just 1 month, we smashed through 20,000 subs. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm honestly extremely grateful for this because I've been watching YouTube since I was a little kid. So being able to actually pursue this as a full-time, I guess, as my full-time gig is honestly very, very, it's my favorite thing in the world. I love YouTube. I love making videos. I love live streaming. I love doing all this. So I'm very happy that I'm seeing success in it because I've always wanted to be doing this. I've also, hit my first video over hundreds of thousands of subscribers. We're close to 500,000 views, not subscribers, views. We're close to 500,000 views on this video, which is just ridiculous. Like, I didn't think I'd ever hit this goal. The fact that I've hit 400,000 views in this, like from my research, Claude videos, like the most watched Claude videos, they get about 1 million, 1.5 million views. So this video has basically hit 30% market share of all kind of Claude video consumer watches, which is just ridiculous. Like, it's crazy. And I edited it myself, so kind of cool. Now, for the money part, right? Like, how much money have I made during this period? I'm sure all you guys want to know. I have made, and I couldn't find all the screenshots for this, but I've made close to $20,000 in the last month off of ad revenue, off of sponsorship deals, which is just like, what the actual fuck? Like, when I first started doing content and when I actually took the leap, because it was a leap, right? Like, I only had about 12 months runway in my bank account from my previous ventures. And I was like, okay, I need to make this shit work. And like the normal person, because I was still living at home, like maybe, I think this time last year, I was still living at home with my parents. And I had about 12 months of savings. And then what did I decide to do? I decided to move out of home and pay rent. And I pay rent's pretty expensive here. It's $560 a week. Like, it's not cheap. So my runway went from 12 months to 8 months. And that was honestly a big leap for me, but I knew I had to take it if I wanted to do the live streaming stuff and the content creation and kind of this whole journey seriously, right? I took that leap and I'm very grateful that I did because look where we are right now. $20,000 in 1 month is no joke. I didn't think I'd hit this so quickly. And you can kind of see if I pull up the YouTube analytics, because you guys want to see that, right? Like, you can see the ad revenue right here, $3,400. From this video alone, I wish I made it every day consistently above $50. This one day we hit 300, 340. This video specifically got $2,000. And I wish I made this video 2 minutes longer, because I've noticed from my personal experience that videos above 10 minutes make almost double the amount in ad revenue, because you need to be above a certain amount of time to actually play mid-roll ads. And so if your video is less than 10 minutes, the chance of you getting an ad in the middle of your video is unlikely. So they say the threshold is 8 minutes, but I've found the threshold is actually closer to 10. If your video is just over 8 minutes, which mine is, chances of it getting shown a mid-roll video is not that high. So what's the revenue for that video? $2,000. Wow, that's crazy. Is this just from YouTube? This is purely just from YouTube. This isn't me selling any products. This isn't me doing anything. This is literally just from ad revenue and sponsorship deals. And I think part of that is obviously the niche that we're in, right? Like the fact that I'm making AI videos, AI content is just pumping right now. So I feel like there's a lot of money going around. I probably get like maybe 2 or 3 sponsorship emails like a day at the moment, which is just crazy. So yeah, I kind of just went hard on content, right? And so what does going hard on content look like? Like, yeah, I'll show you guys a little snippet. But this is basically what I do, where I'll literally, after every single video is filmed, I'll go through the entire video. I'll look at the retention graph for that video, which you can kind of see right here, this section right here. And I will literally write down notes on every single thing. So like, for example, with this video, there was a small retention dip around 2 minutes 40. The transition between rule 1 and rule 2, there was like an issue. So the solution, write down the solution, the issue, solution, and then like kind of your takeaway from analyzing the retention. And I've found that if I just keep doing this, every time I make a new video, it should hopefully get better and better to the point where me as a creator is also leveling up and getting better and able to make better videos, right? Because at the end of the day, that's the goal. It's to get better at your craft so you can, grow. And so I was able to do this. I've also been looking into like, outlier theory and like outlier videos. Like you can see this guy, he's only got 5,000 subscribers, but he made a video that has over 100,000 subscribers. Okay. So not subscribers, views. He made a video that has over 100,000 views when he only has 5,000 subscribers. So that this is an outlier video. And if you go down, you can see this guy as well, 6,000 subscribers, made a video with 78,000 views. So what you can do is if you look at enough of these videos, you might be able to find a pattern, right? And so here are some patterns. Creator tips, how Claude's creator starts every project, how Anthropic employees actually use Claude. You can see there's a pattern here, right? Both these videos were outlier videos. Over here, you can see there's comparisons, in the thumbnail. You've got Claude, you've got ChatGPT, Codex, Claude. You've got like a junior dev, senior dev, like this comparison style comparison. You've also got, workflow improvements. This guy is like, they're all trying to improve your workflow. So really kind of interesting, kind of giving you guys a bit of the source on how to make videos that pop off. But yeah, this is kind of what I've been able to do because of this pencil focus. And I feel like, you need to give yourself the creative freedom to have these things. So if you're building an app, you need to think like, okay, how many apps are you building? Like, because let's be real, there's a lot of us are building multiple apps right now. How many apps are you building? Are you focusing and pinpointing on the one app that you want to work on, or are you focusing on multiple apps? I'm guilty of this too. Like, I've always worked on multiple apps at the same time. But, when things actually start moving, it was because I actually locked in and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on this. And now hopefully we can kind of go back into the live streams. I kind of want to start live streaming 5 days a week again. So I kind of just want to do this now for live streams. So let's see. Cleaning the whole apartment today. Thanks for the insight in the background noise. Good luck with your cleaning, bro. Glad I could give you something to listen to. Yo, can you do a video about Claude cutting videos for you? Saw some reels and they're just yapping and not showing anything. Oh yeah. Well, you should check out Descript. This is really good if you want to cut up your videos. It can take out all of the bad cuts and cut it out to a level which is pretty good. Claude, I don't think is fully there yet, to be honest, from my experience. So if you can still get Claude to edit your videos using Remotion, or I think Hype is a new one, D-Hype or something like that. But Descript is probably where I'd run your video through first, because then it can cut up all the bad takes, cut up all the pauses, and it does it quite well, and then you have like a product or a video that is just like clean from end to end, and then you can put that video into Claude, and then Claude can edit it. But if you get Claude to like edit raw footage, it's not the best. It's not free. You do need to pay for it, but it's not too bad. Like you can definitely start on this, and this is pretty good. Like 10 media hours is a lot. So I'd probably start here. If it improves your workflow by like, just look at how much you get paid per hour, and then think, how many hours does this improve my workflow? If you get paid, let's say $16 an hour, and this saves you 2 hours of work, then in my head, okay, this is worth it. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be free. It just needs to be worth paying for. So yeah, I'd probably do the hobbyist. But yeah, hold up. What else are you guys saying? So it looks like your CPM is $4 to $5 per 1,000 views. I mean, it varies. If we look at this video, the CPM would have been, so the CPM is actually $19 for this video. But you got to consider a few things. You got to consider the fact that this is how much advertisers are paying per 1,000 views for the advert, right? But you got to also consider, okay, how many people have YouTube Premium? How many people have just watched an ad and then are jumping onto your video? Because if they've just watched an ad on another video, them jumping on your video, they might not be shown an ad, right? Because you're not shown an ad every single video, depending on the length. So you got to consider that. And that's what I'm talking about with the video length is really important, because since it's only 8 minutes, a lot of people weren't shown ads. So the RPM ended up being about $5. But if we look at some of my other videos, I've noticed if I talk about money, the CPM is higher. So this one specifically, these OpenClaw agents are making more money than you. I talk about money in this a lot. So the CPM is actually higher. So if I go into revenue, you can see that they're paying me $45 per 1,000 views, of which the RPM was $14. Okay? Because I'm talking about money. So naturally the RPM is higher. I've also noticed video length is quite important, right? So this one, Ultimate Beginner's Guide to OpenClaw, 50-minute video. Go into the RPM. Advertisers were paying close to $90 per 1,000 freaking views. Like, isn't that insane? $90. Where else are you getting paid $90 for your freaking video to get shown to 1,000 people? Like, that is ridiculous. And of that, I kept $26 per 1,000 views. So video length is really important, and the topic that you talk about is really important. Those two matter a lot when it comes to these things. So even like, I was talking to old mate in the Discord who runs a body cam footage channel, and he was saying like, if you just sneak in a few words and you change your kind of terminology a little bit to like say a bit more businessy things, like, you know, talk about profit, talk about revenue, talk about, you know, all these different things, then chances are YouTube might actually bump your CPM up a little bit. So if you're making videos, then, you know, maybe take that into account. I feel like anyone in any niche can always talk about profit, can always talk about revenue, can always talk about these business terminologies, right? Because people are interested in that. People want to make their own businesses. I'm trying to build an app a day. An app a day keeps the stress away. What you trying to do with an app a day? Are you selling these apps, Grizzly? Nothing is free. MD Tron hitting with the heavy hitters. Damn, another subscription. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, ML. You got to look at it as, yeah, how much time are you saving from this? I've been using Descript since they acquired Lyrebird back in the day. Super helpful too. Saves so much time. Well, there you go. Tim Combridge giving us some Short forms are doing really good as well. J-Mart saying, what the hell? 19. Did you see the $80, the $90 one? It's crazy. Short forms pay all right too. Like if I showed you a short form video, what's my best one? All right, this one. Google just made OpenClaw free. 46,000 views. Paid about $8. Not bad for a short form. Not bad at all. 94% watch to stay. So short forms are also a good indication for me to make a long form video as well. This is almost like research. I can go on and I can be like, okay, I know that people want to see more of this style of content. 400 subscribers as well. Damn, I didn't know that. But yeah, short forms are interesting too. And you know, a short form actually takes me half a day to film. And sorry, not half a day, a whole month's worth of short form content to script and to film take me half a day. And then I just send it to my editor. I pay him like $500 a month. He edits 30 short form videos for me. And I don't have to worry about it. So all of this I kind of look at as just free viewership and just kind of research really. Because it takes me half a day and $500. Which if you look at the value that I'm getting out of it, eventually, hopefully these shorts start paying me. And so they just cover the cost of the editor. But I'm also seeing like I'm getting subscribers. I'm getting market research from like, okay, people want to see Google just made OpenClaw free. Maybe I could make a long form video about that, which will then pay me way more dividends down the line, right? But yeah, I've just been focusing on the content side of things. So also kind of unfortunate this video flopped because I put my heart and soul into this video. So, hey, it happens sometimes, you move on. But yeah, that's kind of where I've been. And I also want to share I was meant to say now that we got that out of the way. Now that we got that out of the way, let me introduce you to Ace. All right. Now, this is the app that I've been working on in the background secretly. And the way that I kind of look at this is there's the autonomous app factory that I've built. And if you broke down the autonomous app factory, you would have Ace. And so I kind of want to get Ace live and in the hands of people who want to test it. And the autonomous app factory is actually going to plug into Ace and become like a bit of an attachment and a feature more than its own product. But this is Ace. And the way that I'm trying to do Ace is it's essentially a whiteboard where you can kind of just like, this is the tool that I wish I had when I first got started as a non-technical person. Like getting into Claude code and learning how to do agentic workflows and stuff, like it just was a bit confusing when you're first getting into it. So being able to actually come in here and you can actually just like brainstorm and like come up with your own ideas and then you can just link them together, right? Like, okay, ChatGPT now has knowledge to this. And then you can connect it to Claude and just be like, okay, these two are now going to debate and give me a synthesized answer. So I can be like, hey, tell me everything you know about Doobie, the YouTube creator, his growth metrics, his best and worst videos, and all his social accounts. And then I just chuck that in as a prompt. These two start working together. I can also just expand the entire chat and yeah, that's kind of Ace. And I'm calling it Ace because it's agentic coding environment. That's what I'm kind of calling this, an agentic coding environment. So if you were to like kind of make it an acronym, it's ACE. So yeah, hey, no one steal that. No one steal that. All right, I worked long and hard for that name, so no one steal that. But yeah, that's kind of, this is Ace, and so this is kind of where I want to build. I want to like make it easy for non-technical people to be able to come in here and just build like agentic workflows and connect different like AI agents together and be able to talk and, you know, brainstorm ideas, app ideas. You could literally come up with like your own like 11 step, like the end goal here is you could basically build the autonomous app factory through this without having to know all that bullshit that I had to go through for like 20, 30 days. And so this is kind of the product that I want to be pushing, okay? Now, it's obviously not ready yet, and so we can just, now that I've got all the meat and potatoes out the way, we can just go straight into this. So I've told you guys about all my content secrets. I've told, this is the, take a screenshot of this because it's very valuable. All right, now it's gone. Get rid of that. I've spoken about everything I wanted to. All right, cool. Yeah, so let me check chat. I haven't looked at chat in a second. That is really crazy. I heard the finance niche pays the most. Yeah, finance pays crazy. But I think AI is going to pay a lot as well, because I can only see AI getting more and more popular. Think of all the startups out there right now that have jumped on the AI bandwagon, and there's only going to be more and more. Like, I think AI as a niche, maybe the CPM might not be as high as finance, but I guarantee you the sponsorship deals will 100% cover for that. Like I showed you, I alone in the last month made $20,000. 4,000 of that was from YouTube ad revenue, but $16,000 was just from sponsorship deals. I'm not that big of a creator. For me to make $16,000 off of sponsorship deals, it doesn't make any sense. And that goes to show you the hype around AI right now. Yo, what's good, Doobie? It's me, Senor Lol. I'm creating my own startup. Hey, let's go. Public. Senor, tell us more about your startup, please. I'm curious. What's public? I got to start making some content. Shit, bro. Content is literally the only moat left, guys. If anyone, these AI agents are getting so good that you can literally build anything and everything. So the only moat left is distribution. So you 100% you need to make content, and you're not going to be good at it, right? Because that's the whole reason why I feel like a lot of people don't make content, is because, you know, it's very hard. But I will tell you this, it is also very, very rewarding, okay? That first subscriber, that first like, that first 100 views, man, it's a good feeling, dude. I'll tell you that, it's a good feeling. And just think of all the possibilities that get unlocked when you have good content. You get sponsorship deals. You have now your own marketing funnel. Like right now, if I was to launch an app, I feel like I'd get my first maybe 50 to 100 users just from my own community, you know? Like there's a lot of benefits to making content. So if you're not making content right now, you guys got to start, man. And if you don't want to show your face, dude, Higgsfield, AI has gotten so good. You can just create no face YouTube channels or no face short form videos. Like the gate is open, wide open right now. You guys got to capitalize. Doobie, given your marketing experience, I can see it being super valuable if you created a marketing for Vibecoder's video. Super niche, could carve your spot out really well. Help us get eyes. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good idea. A marketing video. I've been thinking about that actually. Let me write that down so I don't forget. Vibecoding marketing vid. Yeah. I got one on the way. Specifically around content, but I could do a marketing one for sure. Yeah. Cheers, Tim. Appreciate that. Always looking for new ideas. Agree, that would be dope. How could you jump from almost 2K to 18K? What's this? Is this for, what are you talking about? Sales specifically. Slyfawn, what's going on? Yo, Doobie, good to see you back at it. Let's go. Nice name. I wonder if it drew inspiration from someone in the community. Who? Did someone make that already? Slyfawn. What are you trying to say? Who'd I copy? Is there someone out there that had this name already? I genuinely, if there was, I had no idea. Is this tool built by you? Yes, it is. Claude Design is so nice, bro. I love Claude Design. Like, basically how I came up with this was I just prompted Claude Design and I was like, yo, can you make a mock-up for me? And it came up with all of these designs. And I was just able to literally share it as a handoff to Claude, which came out as a zip file. I didn't even hand it off to Claude. I just gave it to GPT 5.5, gave it the zip file, and it got pretty close. Obviously, I've come in and like made it look a little different, but I'm pretty happy with. I love Claude Design. I'm not gonna lie. Been thinking about content myself. You part of an org or under an agency? Been thinking about a community made one. I'm not part of an organization or agency or anything. No, I just full solo. I don't think you need to do any of that shit, to be honest. At the end of the day, if you're making good content, people will come to you, you know? So I feel like the first thing you got to do is like just figure out how to make good content, and everything else is going to solve itself. Or like even a personal builder's content video, how to build a brand as a solopreneur. I could do that. That's a good video. That's a good idea. Let me write that down too. Yeah, 100% I could make these videos, because the thing is, like, you know, I'm pumping out a short form video every single day. I'm pumping out close to 2 long form videos a week. And now I want to live stream 5 days a week. So obviously AI has a big role in automation and how I can kind of optimize certain workflows to be able to handle all of that content, right? So 100% I could make a video on that. Ace, nah, no copying, bro. But someone in our community is Elias Ace, your community. Your community, our community. I mean, it is our community. Bro, who came up with Ace? Bro, I've been thinking about Ace for a minute. I'm not going to lie. Like, it came up with Duocode, but even with Duocode, in my head, I was like, I'm going to use Ace, and I'll just change the name out. What are the tools you use to create this SaaS? So I jump between Conductor, which is this coding environment right here, and GPT 5.5 and Claude Opus 4.7. So, you know, Ace is his name. Oh yeah. That's funny. Ace is his name. Ace needs to change his name to IDE now. Yo, true. I didn't think of that. Yo, that's actually funny as agentic development environment. Yeah, Aid. Yo, Slyphone, tell Ace to change his name, bro. Ace DE. Yeah, Slyphone, tell Ace he's got competition, bro. I used to do all my front end. I skipped wireframes and just straight to the front end design. Yeah, 100%. I mean, this was wireframes, to be fair. The only reason I did wireframes though was because I had already built Duocode, which is this chat interface that Claude and Codex can talk to one another with. And so I was like, in order for this to be good, I actually need to do wireframes, because then I can connect it nicely. What is the main feature that your SaaS provides? So the whole concept of ACE is that I want it to be super user friendly so that anyone can come in here and create more complex kind of workflows and agentic kind of loops and stuff just by like clicking and like connecting things together. So the whole point of this would be like you could create an autonomous app factory, which, you know, if you guys watched my live streams early on, you would see like the autonomous app factory had 11 stages. There was an ideation agent. There was a, you know, builder agent. There was a UI agent. I've even got Gemini here. So we could literally get Gemini to come in here as an agent. And this could be the UI development agent. And so the whole concept is this: we know that different AI tools are good at different things. So you could get Gemini to build the UI. You could get Codex to actually build out the app functionality. You get Claude to review the app. Like, the possibilities are endless. And on top of that, there's also workflows you could do that aren't related to building apps. Damn, I didn't even know I could do that. You could, you know, create a copywriting workflow that gets really good at, you know, connecting multiple different AI agents and different sources of news and Twitter posts to come up with, you know, how can I write winning copy? I just want to put it all in one area so people, you don't have to jump around a lot. I use Gemini and Claude for a mix. You can do a sysadmin. What is the difference between this and N8N? That's a good question. I think the difference between this and N8N would be that I think what I want to be able to accomplish with this is you can pretty much build like loops. And I feel like N8N, there's still a barrier to entry. Like, you still have to go in there and you still need to learn how to use the tool. And you still need to, you know, you need to connect your API, you need to do this, you need to do that. I want to eliminate all of that because this is an app that you actually download onto your computer and it natively already connects to your Claude. It natively already connects to your Codex. And so you can just start using this straight away. I think that's the biggest difference. The whole mindset and mission and vision of this is someone who has zero coding experience can come in here. Like, I'm talking like, I've got my uncle and he rocks up and he's like, let's say he runs like an accounting firm and he's able to create his own complex workflow that if you were to do it through N8N or if you were to kind of do this manually, would be pretty complicated. But you can just come in here and just be like, all right, Claude, Codex, synthesize answer. This is all my client data. This is going to be how we train our staff. And then at the end, you're going to have like this pretty complicated workflow, but it was made quite easily. Wow, that is amazing. Is this your only SaaS product? Currently, like I said, like, it's pencil focused now, right? We're focusing on just one thing because I think if I focus on too many different things, it's just not going to get built. So I'm going to focus on releasing this, and then I'm going to focus on releasing the autonomous app factory inside of this as like a template that people can use. And that's kind of how I'm planning on going about this. I've been good, bro. Silly led. Appreciate you asking. I've been really good. Yeah. Just been going hard on the YouTube side of things. And so I haven't been able to live stream as much, but hopefully that's going to change. I kind of want to do five days this week. And just kind of lock in, hopefully get this app running. But let's get into it, shall we? I should make a AI sysadmin thing. What is sysadmin? It's like system admin. Let's chuck some music on and let's jump into some Vibecoding. I'm feeling lo-fi today. That was a bit loud. Is that good? I think that may be a bit lower. Alright, we'll go there. Do you make all your vids with just an iPhone and a mic? I don't know the setup to get started. Dude, yeah, I literally just use my iPhone. Dude, I'll literally show you my setup right now. I got this iPhone. I got this tripod. It was like $30. Just connect it onto your phone, and I literally record like this. On your phone, you can get this app. This app right here. It's called Teleprompter, where it lets you record your face with your screen while showing the text. So you can script your videos so you don't have to feel like everything needs to be perfect, and you can just record. People don't seem to care that it's filmed on my phone. As long as the mic quality is good, like get a decent mic if you are to buy something. Spend at least $100 on a mic, do some research. Yeah. Okay, so there's a few kinks with this right now. So you can kind of see I took the things that I liked from Conductor, which is like the fact that I could run multiple agents inside of my GitHub workflow. Here you can also run multiple agents inside of your GitHub workflow, but you can visualize it a bit more. And so this automatically feels better than Conductor for me. If it worked properly. It doesn't work properly yet. So ideally, we get to a stage where I'm fully just focused and coding on this. But yeah, let's just go ahead. And one thing I have noticed is we need to create some sort of system so that right now when I make a prompt, it comes out onto the whiteboard as a note. I don't think that's very efficient. I think what we need to do is have it so that the prompts only show inside of the chat. At the end of the day, a user can just expand the chat if they want to look at previous prompts. And we just need to have some sort of system so that when a prompt is placed, it goes through a specific agent. So maybe how we make it work is there is a priority system. So if I go into the brain of an agent, there is a priority toggle based on how many agents there are. So if there's 5 agents on my whiteboard, I would like to prioritize between agent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if it's agent number 1, then they would get that prompt first, who would then send it to agent number 2, who would then send it to agent number 3, etc., etc. And this would allow us to ideally create step-by-step workflows. So, let's say the prompt was to come up with an app idea and then build the app. And then what would happen is if agent number 1 system prompt was specifically to ideate and come up with ideas, it would finish its task, which would then go to the next priority on the list, number 2, who would then build out the app or finalize the ideation, which would then go to number 3, which might be reviewing the app. Like, we want to create a system that is quite robust here so that it works for simple workflows when there's just 1 or 2 agents, but also works for more complicated workflows when users want to go through a string of agents. All right, let's see how this goes. Fat ass prompt there, but GPT 5.5 can handle it. Just got teleprompter. Thanks, bro. All good, man. Do you make all your... hello, sir. What up, Gulab? Where you control the server or manage? Right now, it's local, but I'm going to have to create a database. What is a sysadmin? Sysadmins are the super valuable people who make the world go around. They even got their own day, sysadmin day, July 21st, isn't it? I think. Sysadmin. Let me search this up. Yo, where'd the music go? is an IT professional responsible for the configuration, maintenance, and reliable operation of the computer. Okay. Sysadmin, dude. Okay. Sysadmins. Isn't that what Facebook's paying like a shit ton of money to train people up for? I was one of the people who bought a Mac Mini during the OpenClaw hype. How do I get rich now using AI? Lol. I mean, think about if you can run local models on it. Local models are getting better and better. So being able to run local models, thinking of simple tasks that you could potentially provide and automate for local businesses that your local model might be able to handle. That might require a lot of setup, but could be quite passive if you did it right. Doobie, let me know if you need a good teleprompter app for iPad, iPhone. I built one that fixes all the problems of other teleprompters. Coming soon as a feature, video recording, but it aligns your eyes to the camera digitally so it doesn't look like you're reading. Dude, I would love to test this app out, Tim. Yo, Tim, chuck it in show off in the Discord and I'd 100% test this for myself. Yeah. If it's a install on the iPhone, I would 100% love to test it. What pricing will you have for the finished project? Nothing crazy. It'll probably be like $10 or $15. What is the Duocode software? Is this Claude? This is the app that I'm building. It's a developer environment. How did you architect your software? I think it's not easy to build it directly. So part of how I came up with this idea, right, is to prompt that very first prompt that you make to build a more complicated app. You don't just say, oh, I want to build a whiteboard app with agents on it. You actually have to split it up and, have Claude and Codex talk to one another, or, whatever AI agent you like to use. It could be Gemini, it could be Qwen, it could be any model you want, right? And what you want to do is you want to have them talk to one another, because they're going to then argue and come up with a finalized product requirements document to then submit to your builder agent, which for me is Codex 5.5. In my head, I was like, I want to build an app that just automated that communication between the two agents, because I found myself going back and forth so much and it got confusing. And, I literally spent like 2 hours on this prompt, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, hang on a second. What if I just automated the whole process and it would only take 20 minutes? And so that's kind of how I built Duocode, which is literally, you can kind of see this chat. If I say something here, I'll be like, hey, you can see Claude and Codex are now talking to one another to come up with a response. Now, I need to make it so that simple prompts like hey don't even get that multi-communication step, because it's just unnecessary. But that was the whole concept. And now I've actually expanded the concept beyond that, which is now a whiteboard, and you can actually add additional agents. So maybe you want to get Gemini involved. Maybe you want to do this. You know what I mean? Just got teleprompter. Thanks, bro. All good, man. I think a lot of stuff is easier to code than you imagine. For sure. Once you get into it, you can just do it, man. Almost like you need a history Doobie, or like a diff or a chat history. I mean, that's true. That's true. We have this though. So if I scroll up, you can kind of see there is a bit of a chat history here that you can expand and close. I kind of want to make this a bit more seamless and connected. So I kind of want it to feel that like the chat can expand and then minimize. So it feels connected while also feeling separated. You know what I mean? Right now it feels a little too separated. So I think that is definitely a UX, UI experience I need to fix. Yeah. How can I check if my idea is worthy or not? I mean, you got to do research. Do research into your idea, your niche. Personally, I feel like I'm building this tool because I felt like when I first started out, if there was a tool like this that I could use, I would have loved to use a tool like this. So that's kind of why I'm building this. Why does the music stop playing? I might need to change it. I'm just building an idea that I wish I had when I first started. That's really all I'm doing. I'm not doing any research. I'm not doing nothing. This is a bit more just getting down and dirty. Usually what I would do is I would do a lot more research. Like, I forgot what the website was called. I used to go on DeFi Llama specifically with like crypto apps. And I used to just look at like, okay, you know, what sort of protocols are generating revenue. And then you could kind of look and find like opportunities just in here. And you could build like mini tools that could make like 10K passive a month if you found the right niche. Now I'm kind of just, I believe that this is a good idea because I know that I would use it. And that's kind of who I'm building it for. I'm building it for myself. So if anyone wants to test this out for themselves, that's great. But yeah, I'm kind of just building this for myself. But also, if you can get to prototype and MVP as fast as possible, and then just give it out for free on Reddit or something, or even in our community, you just in the show off channel, just be like, yo, it's free for a few people. You'll be able to see if people even use it if it's free. In day 16, you were making 1922, and in day 18, you made 18189. I would like to ask how you did that. Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the day that I got the airdrop. And like, bro, if you want to know, like, you can also just watch that live stream, right? Like, which one is it? Yeah, so 17 and 18, and then 19. Like, just watch the intros of these live streams and you'll get an in-depth answer to your question. But I basically got an airdrop that was worth like $30,000 for launching my ore miner app at the time. This one, which might not even be active anymore. Is it active? Yeah, it is. I basically launched this app and on the Solana market, on the Solana mobile app store, and they rewarded me with a $30,000 airdrop. So yeah, this app doesn't even work anymore. I've canceled the subscription that I needed to run this. But yeah, that's your quick and dirty answer. Just pop the test flight link in show off, research, SEO plan it in your AI, maybe build it. I planned a few ideas and they weren't successful yet. Or do the parent or mum testing. I think it was due to camera flipped. Let me see. Have I got to join with my phone? Yo, Tim, you got to make this a record, man. You said recording's coming, right? I'll test out your app after stream, bro. I might, if I can hopefully record with it, that would be good. Okay, so I want to make it so that in these strings, if a user clicks on the string label that says debate, they're actually able to toggle multiple different options, including an option that is custom that lets them have their own specific prompt. And this is specifically around how different components can interact with one another. Feels good to be back, man. Feels good to be back. Like, something about building apps, man. It's so much fun. Building apps, live streaming, hanging out. It's nothing quite like it, man. Love it. When on whiteboard screen, the top header is kind of, the whiteboard is overlapping it. So I can't actually see the different, the drop down menu because the whiteboard is in front of it. But the top header should actually show the drop down in front of the whiteboard. Man, I use 5.5 for everything right now. Like, are you guys using Claude or Codex at the moment? I miss you, Doobie. Oh, I miss you too, silly. Silly lad. Yo, like up the stream if you haven't already, by the way. Please, pretty please. And thank you. All right. I usually have Opus actually reviewing Codex's code at the moment. 4.7. Replying to prompter. Yep, recording is coming. I want to perfect it before I embed it, though. Eye contact feature. I'll see if I can get that sorted today for you. Oi, legend. Appreciate it, Tim. Even if you don't do it today, like this whole week is a week of content recording for me. So yeah, that'd be good. I'm using Opus. I find it good for my workflow. Currently, I've got I think I hit the Codex $200 plan right now. I think that the 2X is about to run out. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but I've got the Codex $200 plan and I've got the Claude Max plan as well. And hopefully that is enough. I've found, at least, to handle everything. What's cool as well is every time there's an update, it uses GitHub as the source of truth. So every time I make an update here, it's been a very, very big game changer to actually have this little notification and it automatically just updates the app. I don't know if you guys remember, but in the previous live streams, it was really hard to see if an update actually went through or not, which actually really hindered growth, I felt, and moving forward and getting the app to work. I use Gemini as like a backup. I've found I use Gemini I've actually used Gemini a lot less now that Codex has really good image generation. I should probably downgrade my membership, because I feel like Codex creates way better images than Nano Banana at the moment. Not Codex, but ChatGPT in general. I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think, because from my testing, ChatGPT's image generation is like way above Nano Banana at the moment. Okay, that still hasn't debate label click. All right, I think the synthesized answer. The synthesized answer. Actually, I should probably start a new chat for this. The synthesized answer, I feel like it should actually be coming out of the middle of the string where the debate label is. Because if the answer is being synthesized, then it should actually be coming from the middle of the two agents. It shouldn't come from one agent. And I think the way it should work is if there's one agent, then there should be a synthesized answer from linked to it. Or just like an output, really. It wouldn't even really be called a synthesized answer anymore, is it? If it's just one agent. But if there's two agents, then it's a synthesized answer. And I think we can just call it the output block. And the output block's name changes based on, how the workflow is set up. Also need to have a think about, if there's three agents, how that synthesized answer comes and looks. Because obviously if there's three agents, then there's two strings. Maybe it's connected to both strings, or the middle agent. Need to set that up. Stale priority badge, okay. So let's see, if I open up Brain right now, there is a priority here, which is cool. Okay, nice to see. Okay, that's the second priority. Cool. Nice. Persona name. It's cool. I didn't even know you could change the names. I would love to use Duocode. Okay, good to know, bro. I appreciate that. Hopefully we can get it ready for beta testing soon. Everyone that uses Duocode as well will likely get access to the autonomous app factory. I'm gonna kind of implement it as a template inside of Duocode. So that's kind of how I'm going about it right now. And I feel like that way it's gonna be a lot cheaper to provide. ChatGPT images are on top at the moment for sure. I use ChatGPT for images, Claude primarily for development work, and dev planning, and Gem for research. Oh yeah, I see that. It makes sense to use Gem for research because of the Google connection. I don't have money to sync into a plan yet. I found when I use GPT, it really thinks a lot, and I didn't like that. I noticed, I don't know if you've used GPT 5.5 yet, but the fast mode is really fast. Like really fast, man. Definitely a lot faster than Claude. Where can I start learning Vibecoding? The best way to start learning Vibecoding right now is to just start building your own app, bro. That's literally how I learned. And depending on your level, what I would do is I would just download the Claude app right here, and then there's going to be an option for you to pay like, I think $20 a month for the pro plan. Oh wait, they don't do the pro plan anymore, do they? If that's the case, I'd probably get Codex, which is ChatGPT's one. They have a $20 a month plan, and I would literally just type in here like a simple app that you want to build, and just try your best to build it just by talking to the agent. And that's your best way to learn vibe coding, is to just go in there and do it. Automator Lab, what's cracking, bro? Been a minute, Doobie. How you been? How's Duocode so far? It's good, bro. It's really good. Duocode is amazing. I should probably change the name to Ace, since that's what it is now. Can we change the name of Duocode to ACE, ACE, and it stands for Agentic Coding Environment. So there's update, restart. I'm kind of a vanilla vibe coder. I don't really have a agent swarm or swarm of coders. Build a personal site and always go to advanced platforms that you want to build is my ideal. Okay, that's fair. I mean, that's what I'm trying to kind of tackle with Ace right now, or Duocode, is I feel like there is a barrier to entry to these more complicated workflows. So how can I make it as simple as possible for anyone to come in here and build their own workflow, you know? Make Ace edge labels configurable. I want to get a review agent on this one. Review the code for this. I messed up. I merged it too early. The other thing is right now, the green little dot that shows that the agent is active. I don't like that it's in the top right corner. Can we actually just make it inside of the bubble, slightly on the left hand side of the agent, of the logo of the agent? And it looks like almost engraved into that bubble, and it's like a glowing pulse. That will give us an idea of whether it's active or not. And it looks nicer, and then it won't overlap with the priority number. I made an iOS app that I wanted that I couldn't find on the App Store, so I wanted to build it. That's always been my approach. Yo, 100%. 100%, man. Like, even with like editing and Premiere Pro, I've built like little plugins and stuff that really help me with my editing. Like, one big thing is when you can't actually copy paste. Like, if I go to copy this image, I can't actually paste it into Premiere. So I had to build a plugin that could recognize images inside of my clipboard that now let me paste it into Premiere, where originally I would literally have to save image as onto my computer when I only have to use it once, and it was like a huge headache. Now I can like just chuck images in there really quickly, and it's a massive game changer, because now it's like my editing is improved, because since the there's less mental strain when having to put an image in the timeline. And so it makes me want to put more images, which make the video better, which makes the editing faster, etc., etc. Okay. Chuck this back in here. Okay. Nice. How are you planning to monetize Ace? What's the paid features? The app itself will be paid. So this will probably just be like $10 or $15 a month subscription. And I just want to create an environment that people want to, that is fun to build inside of. That's basically what I want to do. So much so that they're willing to pay for it. That's the goal. My server has stuff that I want and my Chrome plugins, etc. Yeah, even building Chrome plugins. It's like this fine line as well though, because you know, if you're building a bunch of new apps all the time that are custom to you, at some point you almost like build something a bit too big that takes a bit too much time, and you start thinking like, man, is it even worth me building this app for the time that I'm saving, that it's going to save me? You know what I mean? Like there's this balancing act involved. Okay, can you guys see that light in the back? Let me turn it on. Also, my haircut is chopped right now, so I'm gonna chuck a beanie on. It's pretty cold over here in Australia right now, just coming into autumn. So starting to get into beanie weather. All right. Merge that. I'll get a review agent on this. This is good. Maybe I'll get a quick review on this. Okay. I'll just say merge. You can archive this. Actually, let me see if it works first. Wait for the next update. What's cool is I can just go in here, go into control plane, and then check for content updates. Takes a second though for it to show up. Well, yeah, I gotcha on that. There's been a few apps I wanted to build and just scrap it. Yeah, 100%. I live in Canada, so it's always cold here. Is it always cold in Canada? Oh, webcam. Whoops. Is it always cold in Canada? I swear you guys got summer over there, no? I know that when it gets cold though, it's like really freaking cold. Do you guys not get to enjoy summer at all over there? What is it that you prefer with Codex GPT 5.5 over Opus 4.7? I see that you use both, but it seems like you use Codex as the main one as of right now. Yeah, so I've just found, at least in recent times, that Codex 5.5 just gets the job done. When I've given Claude a task, there's a bit more like hickory dickory where I gotta like, hand hold it a bit more or prompt it a few more times. Where with Codex, I'm quite reliably getting things accomplished, especially when it's like actual back-end configuration. I've noticed when it comes to design elements, Claude is better. However, even if I'm using Codex to build it, I'll still get Claude to review it. And I think it's just going to be this back and forth at the moment. Where Codex is going to be better sometimes, Claude is going to be better the next. But yeah, personally right now, Codex is way better than Claude in my opinion at the moment. Also, the fast mode that Codex has, this little fast section, is actually really quick compared to... See, this is what I'm talking about. I got Codex to design this, and it looks lame. I don't like the style of this at the moment. Actually, I might even get Claude on. I might get Claude on this. I don't like how the activity dot has come out. Like it looks like a pimple on the logo. I wanted to kind of just show slightly on the, almost on the outer edge, inside edge of the bubble, and it doesn't overlap with the logo. Like it should just be like a tiny little green dot that pulse glows in and out. Let me see if I can find it. Green activity dot SAS UI. Yeah, kind of like this. Here is an example. But inside the... I reviewed the diff. The workspace adds a junction node kind that sits invisibly on the debate edge midpoints and funnels output edges into the synthesis, plus a refresh path so legacy agent. The single agent case relabels the blocks to output and test covered one layouts plus legacy migration. Triggers the interaction, handle writing and minimap rendering. No findings worth flagging. The change is internally consistent. The new tests cover the migration plus layouts, and I couldn't construct an input that produces a regression versus the prior behavior. Okay, cool. Nice. We can merge. What? Okay, it's working now. Ace Edge interactions menu. Okay, cool. Restart. Let's try this. Vibe beanies. You should be the first to sell AI beanies. AI beanies. You reckon? What would I even do? Like a robot emoji or something? You should see the life OS I made in Opus using 4.7 and 4.6 and 4.7 Doobie. What do you think of Photoshop or Adobe AI? Not great. Silly lad, you should show a screen recording in the show off chat in Discord, and I'll have a look. Man, the little active sign looks like a pimple, bro. Disgusting. Address both review comments. Guess we can merge then. I think we can archive this. Actually, hang on a second. Okay, cool. Now I can change it. Context. User supporting context. Built on. Extend what came before. Pass work to the next. I feel like there's too many options. I think there's too many options. I feel like we should just have debate, review, handoff, and custom. Context should be automatically labeled in when users have documents that they add. And I think we can use the word context instead of brain. And that should just be automatic when users connect a document to a agent, because a document isn't going to be debating, or a document isn't going to be reviewing. It would just be context, right? And then when it comes to handoff or build on, sorry, fuck, I messed that up. When it comes to build on, that is essentially the same as handoff. So it doesn't make sense that we need that. Nice, so you can add So if I was to just bring out an agent and it was Codex, then I brought out another agent. And it was Claude. And then I connected these together. I should have a synthesized answer pop out there. Merged already. So when I connected Codex into a new workspace, when I added Codex, there should automatically be a like synthesize an output block connected to it. And then when I connected Claude to it, there should automatically be an output block in between them before I even provide a prompt, because then this will help me understand where to even look or where the user should even find the answer. I love this app, bro. I already could see how I could be used in my everyday usage. How can I try this app? I'm going to try and make it live as soon as possible, but hopefully within the next week or two. Maybe an error log. The thing is, I got Claude to review it. An error log is important too, though. That's a good idea. Merged already. For testing especially. It's a good point. I think they have one internally, just not one that I can see, because I can't really make any sense of error logs. Merged already, yes. Okay, so if I just was to update this. Nice, it's called Ace now. Ace. In the header. In the header, when hovering over the Ace name, I think it could be cool if a really simple, clean animation occurred. When I hover over it, it expands into the acronym Agentic Coding Environment. That's what ACE stands for. And it's a really smooth, seamless animation where I hover over the name, it says the full thing, and then when I don't hover over it and I take my mouse back off it, it comes back together to ACE. I don't know how well it's going to be able to do that, but let's see. I'm not seeing any difference in the dots. I'm just starting out into this AI agents. What are the main differences you see from Claude agents and Codex GPT? Look, at the end of the day, I think they just go back and forth between each other. So, the thoughts that I have about it now will probably be outdated a month from now, because there's new models coming out, there's new technology coming out, there's new breakthroughs that are happening every other week. So even though Codex, I feel like, is getting shit done right now, for me personally, I feel like Claude was getting shit done for me like maybe 2 months ago. So they just go back and forth, and competition's a good thing. But right now, I just feel like Codex is marginally better at completing the task. Claude's still good at design, and like, what I really use Claude for is actually this Claude Design. Claude Design came up with the entire vibe of the app and how it would function. So, Claude is still being used in certain areas, just not for actually getting shit done. I've been pretty strong with Claude. Okay. I mean, have you used Codex though? Because like I was pretty strong on Claude as well, but then I used Codex and I was like, oh shit. I was like, damn, you know. I was singing Claude from the rooftops until I started using Codex 5.5. I'm not gonna lie. One thing that I noticed is the the chat and the board feel a bit disconnected. And so what I kind of want it to feel like is when I press the show chat button, the chat actually expands from the bottom to the top. Almost like, and then when like I'm on the whiteboard section, the chat is obviously minimized. But then when I hit the show chat button, the chat should expand over the whiteboard. And then, maybe I can toggle it and move it back down to the minimized version. And I feel like that would make these feel more connected. Right now it feels a bit too separated. When I go into the chat, it just feels like a completely new environment, a different space. I want them to feel more aligned. And I think the way to do this is by overlaying the chat over the environment, because the chat is glass morphism. We'll be able to see the environment in the background and it feels a bit more connected. When the chat is fully expanded, there should be a little arrow button in the middle at the top of the chat that lets you just press it and it minimizes back to the normal size. So when I connected Codex into a new, let me get a review on this. Still looks like the old UI, the changes in the main, in the runtime, and the new design does. Okay, it's merged. Let's go ahead and restart. Could you make a guide on how you sell these products? 100%. The thing is, like, I don't want to make a guide when, like, the way that I'd like to make the guide is by showing a real example. And so, the products that I have sold, like All Miner, are outdated now. Like, I sold that shit like 5 months ago. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to create a guide and use Ace as an example, because then you guys can kind of see it happening live in the flesh. So yeah, I definitely do plan on making that. It'll just be, because I feel like that's how you get the most value out of this, and it's less fluffy. There's more meat and potatoes. Okay. Almost like a real world example. Yeah, exactly. Sick, that sounds good. Yeah, hopefully I can get this going soon, and then I'll share. I mean, obviously on the live streams, I'm always sharing my transparent results, but maybe like a cleaner YouTube video on how to do it for sure. I could do that, bro. Light. Not showing after restart. See, this is the thing with Claude. I got it to do one tiny thing regarding a green dot, and it's still not like being implemented. Probably get Claude to review. Hey, about the tribe thing you posted about recently, have you considered doing anything with that? It looks interesting. Tribe thing. Tribe thing. Oh, you're talking about the brain? Are you talking about the brain? It looks pretty interesting, yeah. There is a guy on Instagram, I can't remember the name, but he's built an app around it where you can predict human responses based off of the tribe, based using tribe, which is kind of interesting. Like you could kind of show your content, for example, and tribe will give you like where people might falter or where people might stop watching. There's definitely use cases for it, and it's fully open source. So yeah, definitely could build something on top of it. I want to do a few fun projects like a game engine and stuff. Do it, bro. What's stopping you? I feel like that's where you learn a lot, you know, when you step out of your what you usually build. I noticed everything is a right click. So with the string being a single click feels wrong and different. So can we make that a right click as well? Because right now everything in the board is a right click interaction. To interact with the board, you right click. So it makes sense right now that we should stick to that. Expand ace watermark on hover. So if I got Gemini here, I'm just trying to figure out the best method for these three to talk. I feel like it needs to connect to this string. Right now, to add a third agent and have them talk to one another, my only options are to connect the third agent to either Claude or Codex, which is like not really what I want. So for example, with the debating, we've got two agents going back and forth, but what if I want to have a third agent debate? It doesn't really make sense for me to add it to Claude or Codex. It kind of makes sense for me to add it into the middle of the string where the debate label is. There should be like an attachment there. And that way Gemini can join in the debate. But if I was to connect Gemini to Claude, then it feels more like it's just talking to Claude. And if I was to connect it to Codex, it feels like it's just talking to Codex. And if I connect it to both of them, then it feels like it's just almost debating to both of them. Like it doesn't feel like it's the right flow. And so in order to make this work, I think it needs to be able to connect to the label in the middle, which is debate. And then we have now 4 agents, 3 to 4 to 5 to, we can add as many agents as we want in this single debate string. Let's merge. Continue. Okay. Honestly, debating whether to... Ooh. Damn, that's kind of cool. I like that. I noticed the G gets cut out, but it looks cool. Looks really cool. Can we make the animation like a little bit slower so you can really see it kind of expand? Actually, no. I think it's fine. Can we make the C encoding green to kind of show like that back and forth a little bit of the green and the orange? And notice how the G gets cut out and the end of experiment is also getting cut out. So just make sure that you can see the whole title. I noticed the agent workspace priority. Can we make it like a toggle that turns on and off inside of the brain? If we turn it on, we can run the priority thing where it goes through certain things, but we can also just turn it off, and so it doesn't really matter. Some workflows won't need the priority, some do. So it makes sense to make this a toggle inside of the agent brain. Let's remove the green dot entirely, as I don't like how it looks. And also notice how behind the glass, there is like this gray kind of circle in the bottom right of the logo. Can we remove that? It's like looks weird. It's behind the icon. It's looking better. Nice. One thing with this is like, this is orange, but then this is purple. Nice, it's working. One thing I did notice though is the connection is purple, where you can see the Claude and Codex connection is orange. Now, I've also noticed when I move the Claude and Codex connection, the Gemini connection does not move with it. And so I'm not sure what's kind of going on here exactly, but definitely needs to be fixed. The third agent's connection to the string needs to be dynamic because users are going to move the strings around and they need to connect properly. Okay, restart. Damn, you've gotten hella subs recently? Yeah, bro, I went hard on the YouTube long form videos. And one of my videos got like 400,000 views. So we got a shit ton of subs, which was a nice little outcome. Not mad about it. How would you make an autonomous LooksMax BP edit content farm similar to your app farm? I just start prompting Claude, bro. As easy as that. Like literally. Like I built this just from prompting. Like how I would start is, flesh out the idea, talk to Claude for like 5 minutes. If you have Whisper Flow, like just use the voice annotation. You've got the voice annotation tool down here as well. And literally just brain dump your entire idea into Claude and then get it to create you a PRD, which is a product requirements document. Then give it to ChatGPT or another AI agent and say, go through my PRD document and give me any feedback or, debate with me on what you don't like about it. Then copy paste that output and paste it back into Claude and be like, yo, these are some findings that I found. And then Claude's going to make a better PRD document. And then I would paste that into, and then I would basically build that app out. That's how I would start. Nice. Looks so clean. I love that. It's still cutting out the G and stuff a little bit. Looks great. However, the G is still getting cut out. Oh, the chat. The show chat does not take the chat all the way to the top. And I think the glass morphism is a little bit too strong. I think we could make it like a slightly more... Oh, actually, no, I think it's okay. I think it's fine. Glass. It should go all the way to the top, just below the header, with a small gap, just to make it feel like connected. and the arrow that you have can be smaller. Feels a bit too big. How many apps do you currently have on the App Store? Maybe like 8 or 9 submissions. Of that, 3 are currently live, I think. Are you going to make a marketing farm for all your apps? I mean, that's definitely going to be part of the process for sure, yeah. I like to work on it like step by step. So, you build the first thing and then you build the next thing and then you build the next thing and you know what I mean? But yeah, marketing farm is definitely something I would like to get into. Now that we have the word ACE on the top of the header, I don't think we need ACE showing again inside of the left-hand menu bar. Is Ace going to be open source? Potentially. I'm going to have to look into it a little more on how all of that works. But yeah, maybe. I'll have to get back to you on that one. I want to do a bit more research before I lock that in. Like, can it be a paid tool while also being open source? You know what I mean? I don't think it can it? Certain aspects of it could be. I'm in that dilemma right now. I'm just trying to understand, I need to understand the benefits of having it open source while also monetizing it. That's kind of where my head's at. Because in my head, I'm like, if it's open source, then it can't be monetized. But also, I've seen people monetize open source products before. So, can be paid while open source, but your audience will know how to compile and could skip the paid option. Okay. I'd be open to like making not the app open source, but maybe like components of the app. Paid equals good for compiled, ready to go. Open source equals good for people who to build their own, modify where they want, etc. So monetize, yes. Reduced earnings, likely. Okay. Maybe what I would probably open source is just to get Claude and Codex to talk to each other. Like I could probably just like open source some of those components. I don't know if I'd open source the entire thing though. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, I guess like parts of it, yeah. I guess to an extent it will be open source then. So I should be able to just add this agent, make it Gemini, and just connect it here. Okay, weird. Undo didn't work there for some reason. So I got this, and I connect this here. I can't seem to connect it yet. Okay. Tesla has some open source code of their cars, for example, but it's easier to buy a car for the average user of the product. They build the hardware, then open source the software, harder to replicate the hardware. Yeah, interesting. I mean, it's definitely an interesting space for sure. Like, it's an interesting method of, I guess, distribution. Like, I see the benefits, there's a lot of pros to it. I can see, a lot more word getting out. Word of mouth is a big instrument for distribution, right? So open source kind of pushes for word of mouth, right? Like, oh yeah, dude, check out this. It's free. It's open source. Like, I see the benefits. It's just like connecting it all together in a way that makes sense, Like, yeah, even I heard Tesla's whole open source thing with the software as well. Like, that makes a lot of sense, why they would do that. But yeah, I guess also like given their competition like that, it's interesting that Tesla did that, because the only people that I feel would really be interested in that is their competition. It's those big car companies, right? So yeah, super interesting that they did that. The show chat expand feels a bit glitchy and laggy, like that animation. So can we make sure it's a bit smoother? And also, I think workspace brief, when you're inside of the entire chat, above that little typing section, there's a workspace brief that you can add. I think we could just remove this entirely, since now users have full flexibility of the environment behind them. Okay. So that's why this hasn't gone through yet. Let's make sure that works. There we go. Let's see how this went. Restart. So let's try this again. So this, okay, a bit weird. So it might need to take some screenshot. Whoa. The hell? The helly? How does this work? Notice how the output does not, the arrows don't seem to follow when they're connected to the string. Ace hit an error, technical details. Got this error mucking around. I noticed the loading screen still shows duo code instead of ace. probably merge this. Duocode is the old app name. Ace is the new one. I noticed when I open an agent's brain, if I were to click on a different agent, it still shows me that the first agent where I opened the brain on, where I feel like I should be able to click on like Codex and then it shows me the Codex's brain. And then I click on Gemini and it shows me Gemini's brain. I click on Claude, it shows me Claude's brain. But right now, if I right click and press the open brain section, it will only stay on Claude's brain if I started with Claude. It should be a bit more versatile so that I can, change multiple different brains without having to right click and go out and go back in at the same time. Like, it should be a lot more smoother than that. You go to your local Luma events, Doobie. Best thing ever. What do you mean? Expand. Please expand. Automator. Local Luma events. Thing is, I don't have much happening locally. Do you go to them? Like, I feel like I haven't really got much shit on in my area. Nothing really happens where I am at. Where are you based, Automator? You never downloaded Luma AI? It shows all your local AI events around your area, Vancouver. Might need to download. Might need to see. I haven't looked into it properly, but I just assumed there wasn't much on. Might need to check it out. Or maybe I've run my own event. Be the first. Luma AI. You're just gonna hit up the bathroom real quick. Give me a second. Doobie poopy time. Love that. Doobie poopy time. The expanding of the chat. When expanding the chat, I want to see it go from minimized to expanded, like slowly. Right now it happens so fast and it doesn't really like feel like I see that motion of it being from small to big. Like it just kind of ends up being big. So it doesn't feel like it's being minimized or expanded. The scrolling feature, once it's expanded, that animation is cool. But yeah, that I think we need to fix the from minimized to expanded, that animation needs to feel like it's being pulled up, and then being pulled down and then being pulled up. Like should feel a bit more realistic. Right now it feels like it's just teleporting to the maximized screen. The glass morphism feels a bit too weak right now. I can quite clearly see the AI agents behind it, and I don't like that. They should feel more blurred out so I can focus on the chat and still feel a little bit of separation while feeling closer. I kind of did this. For this website. So here's an example. Maybe like this. Here is an example. Yeah, this is a bit weird. Right, so it's attaching to an invisible line. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I've noticed the output arrow is correctly kind of moving with the attachment. However, when there is no, like, once I've added an agent onto the board, one thing that I have noticed is before I even, oh, it's actually not. Before I've even connected the two agents together, it's already putting it in the middle, even though these are technically two separate agents. So they should have two separate outputs. Actually, that doesn't fully make sense. Even though these are two separate agents, with the second agent not being connected to the output yet. So I think the way that it should work is there's one synthesized answer. And when you first have one agent, it is connected to that agent, which is working fine. When you have two agents, it shouldn't connect to the middle of those agents unless those two agents are connected. When you have three agents, it shouldn't connect to those three agents without the linking occurring. I think that when there are three agents, it's also a little complex to have two lines to synthesize an answer. Like, it should just have one line, and the third agent should be able to link into the middle. Kind of like how I've shown, but obviously with the right arrow. Might have to get this reviewed. And then also, What it should work is there's one you two agents should connect in the middle of those agents unless those two agents are connected. When you have three agents, you shouldn't connect to those three agents without the linking occurring. I think when just to have two lines to synthesize an answer, it should just have one line to the middle where the debate label is of the string. Kind of like how I've shown, but obviously with the right arrow. We're getting there. We're getting there. So I should be able to now go here and then go here. Perfect. That's great. Okay, nice. Cool. Hello, man. Love the videos. Where are you from? I'm from Australia, bro. Appreciate the love. I think we could strengthen the glass a bit more. I think we could strengthen the glass a bit more. I can still see the agent quite clearly. Also, I think we could remove the show chat button entirely and just have that arrow for expanding and closing. Also, there is currently this weird double chat that I'm seeing right here. You can see there's two chats: workspace prompt, ask the network, and then this other minimized chat. But it's actually the workspace prompt that I wanted to expand into the real chat. Feels like there's two separate chats here now, and we need to kind of merge them. So the workspace prompt, which is the chat, can be expanded into the actual chat, full screen chat, and then the minimized chat. Right now, I feel like you've just added a completely new layer over the top of it, which is probably why we're having a lot of difficulties. I have already worked on the connection of these arrows with labels. Please review. And make it all work seamlessly with what we are trying to accomplish. Okay, let's see if this works. Fingers crossed. Not letting me, still feels like it's not letting me join. Complicated ass. Okay. Okay, it's working now. It looks like I just needed a new system. Okay. There we go. This looks good. Let's go. Finally. All right. Now I can change this. It says rename. Dude, what? Rename to what? Noticed that the string labels have these tiny orange glowing dots for connectors. Where the agents have these bigger orange dots. Can we make the agents also have these smaller, tiny, glowing orange connector dots? I think they look cooler. So this, I did notice when I right click now, it doesn't let me change. I noticed that when I have multiple agents connected to the debate icon label, it doesn't let me change the debate. Like when I right click it, I should be able to change it into different things, but it's just got debate there. It's like I can no longer use the feature that allows me to customize the interaction between the agents. ran into this error when I had 3 agents connected to the debate label. And then what happened is I got rid of one of the agents, which was fine. But then I got rid of the second agent, leaving one agent behind. And this created an error. And I got this screen. Is GPT 5.5 better or Opus 4.7? I think GPT 5.5, bro. Right now, I'm loving GPT 5.5. Although I will say, Opus is great, and there probably will be a time where Opus is better than Codex. Like, they just have this Tango war. PN saying thanks for the stream and helpful information throughout. Currently 3:44 a.m. where I am, so I'm off to bed. Keep up the good work, enjoying your content. Appreciate you, bro. It means a lot, man. Means a lot that you stayed up to watch me, man. Genuinely. Have a good night's sleep, bro. Peace. Yeah, that looks way cleaner. The chat expanding and the chat minimizing, that animation still is too fast. We need to make it slower and smoother so the human eye can see it expand and retract. Also, the glass morphism still needs to be stronger. Like, I want to make sure that right now I've noticed every time you increase the strength of the glass morphism, it only increases the strength of the glass morphism inside of the text bubbles, not actually inside of the background of the chat. So I think we need to reconsider things, make the glass morphism behind the text bubble softer and the glass morphism background of the actual chat background stronger, because I can still clearly see the AI agents. They should be looking like blurs and smudges. I shouldn't be able to see the straight lines of a logo. Let's move the undo button from on top of the mini map to a little icon on the left hand side underneath the zoom lock frame. Make it an undo icon. Oh, weird. Let me try and fix. There we go. Thanks for that. I wonder how long that was going on for. Okay. The ones around the debate label still feel smaller than the ones around the agent icon. I want to make them the same size, like the same size as the connected dots around the debate icon. Right now, when an agent block is placed onto the whiteboard, the option to choose a model shows up on the right-hand side. And if I right click and I go to choose model, again, it shows up on the right-hand side. I want to change this. I don't want to find a UI for it. Landlord, what's poppin'? What did you miss? Just a bunch of debugging, really. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About to have 7 different agents running at the same time. Merge, toggle, UI. Kind of want to have something like this. Bubble menu, that's what I like. That's what it's called. Change this. I want to create a little bubble menu that pops up just above wherever the agent block is, allowing the user to toggle the correct model that they would like. And for the model, we should just show the logo of the model. We don't need to write the name or anything. Kind of like this, I guess. Like this. Maybe like this. Here is a reference. Okay. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 agents running at the same time right now. Man, 13 minutes, 14 minutes, 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 5 minutes. Taking ages right now, 5 minutes. Make sure we're fast mode for all of these. Okay. So dude, why did this take 7 minutes? Is it because the app is getting a bit too big? The icon is a bit weird. The icon is a bit weird. Can't tell which one I like better, light mode or dark mode. Okay, so I should be able to now delete this. Okay, perfect. Nice. Let's remove the scroll animation of the text that occurs when we expand the chat. I think it's unnecessary and just looks a bit confusing. Glass morphism feels a bit too heavy now. I can't see anything in the background at all. I should be able to see like slight shades of colors and smudges. It should be the same level as the glass feels a bit too heavy now. I can't see any in the background at all. Can we lighten it and make it a bit more transparent so it feels connected while being separate? Cool. Can we make it this? Can we make these connectors happen across all blocks? I've noticed the output block still has the big ones. Action blocks still have the big ones. Everything still has documents, still have the big ones. Let's make all blocks use this new sized connector. I want to create a /go skill just like the one described. Okay. Let's try this model picker, see if it works. Nice. So one thing I did notice is it changes the name. When a new agent is picked, actually, let's go here. It shows it names it a certain name, right? And I think what we should do is make this a bit more fun and just give the agent like a random name, like Alfred or Sheldon or Poppy. And we just give it a random one of those names, because at the end of the day, the user just from the logo is able to tell what model it is. And just underneath the name, it already says the specifics of the model. So I think we could make it a bit fun and make the main name, instead of just saying Gemini, for example, it says like a cute little pet name. If chances are it already has a PR, so we could probably skip that step. The /go skill should really be more about testing and simplifying. What's the interface you've got there for the debate? Or is that the thing you're building? Yes, that's exactly the app that I'm building, where you can connect multiple AI agents together and have them kind of talk to one another. Is Ace a bring your own key product, or are you going to implement like a credit-based system? It'll be a bring your own key product. Yeah. Because that way users can connect their subscriptions rather than use our API, which would be more expensive for everyone. So I'm noticing this model picker is popping out. I'm noticing the model picker is coming up every time I click on an AI agent, but that shouldn't be the case. It should only pop up when I right click and hit choose model, or if the agent is being placed inside of the whiteboard for the first time and is blank. I've noticed not much of a change, and I feel like there are issues. So can you look a bit further? Like, I don't notice any softening of the glass morphism at all. Maybe it's in this one. Let's see. Wait, isn't Ace using the user's Claude code subscription to make API calls on their behalf, like a harness like OpenClaw, or is this strictly API keys only, no OAuth? No, this would be OAuth. This uses native CLI, so... No, dude, I don't know how to fix this freaking thing, man. I've been back and forth for ages. Noticing while it is more transparent, there is no smudge that glass morphism is famous for. blurring the transparency of what is behind it, as if it were frosted glass, similar to our minimap and sidebar menu. Okay, let's see. Nice. I can add an agent, pick chat dot, agent block, Alfred, Cleo, Pip, Percy, Ziggy dot, Lulu, Percy, Puzzle, Lulu. Okay, cool. All right. Let's go. I feel like we've done pretty solid. Let's say if I got a document in context, indexed, nice. So bring this in, and I gave this as context. Indexing, indexed. Let's go here, indexing, indexed. Okay, nice. Cool. What about this? How does this work? I'm not liking the expanded chat right now. For one, it says it like the glass morphism isn't working properly and it isn't blurring the transparent layer that is meant to be blurring the icons behind it and whatever's happening behind it. The second thing is you can see in the bottom right, there is this overlap where, you know, you're seeing two different chats come into be. You've got the workspace prompt, which I can expand, but then it brings up this new chat environment that you can see is overlapping over the workspace prompt. Even though this is meant to expand the workspace prompt into the chat, we're getting a completely new chat. So we need to fix this up. The background also tends to glitch with this weird black line that kind of comes in and out, telling me that something is wrong. If you look closely, you'll see it, a black line in the background. But yeah, not really loving this right now. All right. Dope. I'm going to end it there, chat. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. First live stream back in a while. Had a good time vibe coding with y'all. I'm keen to do it again tomorrow. And I'm really excited about releasing this app, man, and letting you guys test it out. So peace out. Thanks for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. I will definitely be doing a lot more live streams now that everything's all sorted. And yeah, hope to see you all tomorrow. Peace out.